Hearing all that about what went wrong, and then you attempt to get an answer and I guess closure to that in a way, you obviously did pursue it through PALS as an advocate, and you eventually received an apology.
Yes.
Do you feel that apology was satisfactory and lessons were learned from that?
No. As soon as we found out that I had, as I say, classed as terminally ill with stomach cancer, it was my wife that took over. Mentally, I can't handle it. Mentally, I cannot handle it. And my wife took it over, and she pursued the matter. But even the PALS also apologised for their failure to investigate the matter properly in the time that. Well, I say not their failure. I do correct that. No, they were excellent. The time it took. Because one of the things you learn when you're in my position, if something has got wrong, by God, do those doctors want to shut up and pull up the barriers? They really, really do. It took ages to get stuff from the GP, etc. So the apology itself from Dr. Consultant 1, if I can put it, totally unacceptable. One, because it was clear from the independent review that we already had done by another gastroenterologist consultant, he didn't do his job properly. And secondly, I have no issue with him saying I'm the world's leading expert. I'm a retired police officer. God, I've heard this with people, and it just went over my head, but it stuck with me, is that I have no doubt that he wrote the letter because apparently he would take persuading to put anything pen to paper with his own self-preservation, i.e. if he hadn't written the letter, because of what happened to me, there is every opportunity at his annual review or by review, I don't know. I know that we were told in review that there was a possibility that he could have lost his consultancy. So having known what we know about Dr. Consultant 1, he did it for self-preservation and not for my benefit or for my wife's benefit. I don't really want to make a criticism of the health service. That is not what I'm here to do.
I'm actually curious whether people who are in a similar position where they feel stuck about their care, whether you feel it's still worthwhile pursuing the complaint to get an answer, and if so, whether lessons are learnt about what went wrong for future patients' benefit. It's a tricky one to know. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer necessarily.
Well, there isn't, and you're quite right. I agree with it to a certain point. That clearly, lessons have to be learnt so it doesn't happen again. However, as I say, my wife's life's destroyed, and she's going to pursue this to the bitter end. She just wants, if you like, we go back to the apology. She just wants a proper apology. Somebody to actually say, sorry, we made a mistake, or we got it wrong. Because even in Dr. Consultant 1's letter, he didn't actually say we got it wrong. He apologised more for his attitude and the way he dealt with it, as opposed to the fact that he got it wrong.
So you want really, shall I describe it as an honest, heartfelt apology?
Indeed. I personally don't. I personally don't. But in order for me to be happy, my wife has to be happy, and so therefore she has to have, if you can understand that, for her to be happy, she has to have that.